Hello, good morning. This is the first video which I'm going to be uploading to YouTube channel. I am the Biafran Tech Guy. So in today's episode, what we're going to be looking at here is connecting a household AC compressor. Why do you want to connect this? Because sometimes it might not function very well or good in the household appliances, but that doesn't mean that this thing is bad. Now, as you can see here, we have another one here. Now, there are reasons why most of you who will want to power it up straight. The first reason is that you want to know if this compressor is still good. Then the second reason is because you might want to use it for vacuum pump, use it as a vacuum pump. Either ways, you're welcome to my channel. Now, most of the problem that most people actually do encounter here is the connection, the wiring connection. When you get it out of the system, it becomes complicated. Some of them have wiring diagrams, but some of them doesn't have. So let's say in a situation where you don't have the wiring diagram, how do you connect it? Now let's trace the lines, and most often time by default, this line comes on default. This one here go to the cutoff, right? And it always come either as white or as brown. And that is usually marked C or U. Okay, now the blue one, which is the one in the middle, is often marked as S. All right, is often marked as S or W, and is mostly blue and is always the center wire that is in the socket. Now the last one is mostly red, and the red is most often times marked with R or V, and to me that red signifies the voltage, the V signifies voltage, which means that's where the main power source should connect. Now let's get to it. Some of them, if you get to disconnect it from here completely, you'll be having a problem to reconnect it back. So I don't recommend you to disconnect it. But if you have done the mistake already, most of the cover like this actually come marked. So you can see it that this one here is marked with C, which is the white. Then the blue is marked with S, which is W or W, while the red is marked with V or red. Now, how did you get it connected to power source is the next question. Now you have a capacitor here. Most of the capacitors that are going to be powering it are 60, between 45 to 60 MDF, which means microfarad, 450 volts. That is a run capacitor that can be able to power this up. Now if you do mistake in the wiring, you're going to be hearing a humming sound, like I say, if you have a low voltage. But if the wiring is correct, it's going to power up. So you have these two capacitors here, no fan inclusive. So the first place you want to connect your capacitor to is the S line, which is this center one, right? Now the second place where you want to connect it, this remaining one here, is going to be the red line. All right. Now, if suppose you made any mistake, don't touch the blue line, still leave the blue line. You can only alternate between red and the red and brown. So we're gonna test it out today, and we're gonna start it. Have you plugged it? Okay, get me the wires. So here I'm gonna be plugging this up so we practicalize it and see if this compressor is gonna run. The reason why I kept the other compressors there is also for practical purpose, and we're going to be tearing that in the next video and show you what is inside and how it works and what other application you can actually use this for. So that's why I call this my channel Biafran Tech. So if you're coming for the first time, kindly subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell icon, and lock on, because we're going to be teaching you a lot of things which you don't know. Regardless, car, anything relating to technology. Now we have two wires here that we certainly sure that is having power. Whether this one have a battery. No, don't drop it. Okay, so we're certain that these two wires that we have right now have power. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna attempt to connect it to the red and the brown. No, brown. And you can see right away it started working. All right. Now this noise is making is actually showing that we can disconnect it. Okay, now what the connection which I've taught you guys right now, you have actually seen it that it worked, and this compressor just powered up immediately when we feed it up with power. Now when you connect it, I want you to mask this so that you don't mistake it again. If suppose you change this wire, one of these wire from this capacitor right here, and you put it on the brown side, and you decide to power it up, either you power it up from blue or brown, it's not gonna power up. All right. Anytime you feed power through these blue lines to power the compressor, it's not gonna power it. So my own advice here is you should try to find a capacitor that have only 2 pins. All right. And like I showed you before, 60 MDF is just okay to power. This is 1.5 horsepower compressor, and this should be able to help you do some other things which you really want to do. Now the other face, let's flip this wire the other way around and see if it's going to power up if we power it. But remember, like I said, you are to give power to, it seems like the S is a secondary wire winding, or I don't know, or starting winding. I think it should be the starting winding right there. Why this one is the running winding. So it's between the starting and the running winding, because I didn't describe it, but it could actually mean so. So you have the volts, you have the red wire here, and you have the S is actually where which is the center part where the capacitor is actually connected. So if you connect between S and C, it's not going to power up. If you connect between S and R, it's not going to power up. So your capacitor should stay between C and S, which is the common. All right. Then if suppose you have to power up the system, you're going to be working only between C and R. Now let's do it again. The compressor stays on the running side or the starting side, which is most cases the blue line, and you can see it right there. That is the starting line, that is the blue line right there. While the common is mostly the brown, which you're gonna actually fed power, which is this one right here, this guy right here, and it goes all the way here, pass through the cutoff, and that is it right there. Then the remaining one, which is the red here, is often indicated with the red wire, which if you trace it right now, that is this one right here. So when you're trying to feed it with power, you need to give the red wire and the brown wire power, and this should power up. You shouldn't share this with the power source which you are trying to connect it. I hope you find this very helpful. I gotta catch you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, give me a thumbs up for some other videos which I'm gonna be uploading soon about tearing this capacitor apart, and let's take a look at it and know what is inside and what other future use you can actually use it for. Thanks for watching. This is your Biafran Tech guy. Bye for now.